Hello, I'm making this video specifically for the Texas Department of Field Standards. Um, I had recently been meeting up with some of their commissioners and some of their changes that they've been making, basically enforcing what they should have been enforcing all along. But let me tell you why I'm doing this on video. It's because I have actually written a complaint. And 3 of the deaths that appeared in Angelina County, 2 in the last year and then 1 in 2022, were addressed. And I asked questions about what did the inspection say when they went out to inspect or whatever. I was called by a representative. He said there's nothing they can do. Okay, maybe I'm a stupid ass here, but the fact of the matter is that Texas State Commission on Jail Standards, that means that, yes, you are responsible not only to the public, but also to the personnel that's in law enforcement and the guards in the county jails, and also to the public of maintaining that this institution is running correctly. But let me point out the areas that you do not and what I'm complaining on. Complaint number 1. There has been 2 deaths in Angelina County Jail last year. The same MO. All taken to detox. All denied medical care. All denied proper CPR procedures. All of them passing out and dying in their cell. 1 individual was restrained. Another individual stayed in there for 2 days before he passed away, and the state has determined it was methamphetamine overdose. I don't know if the Texas jail standard, I don't know if you guys understand or not, but a person who appears intoxicated, a person who is mentally unstable, a person who has a apparent episode or whatever, there's a different criteria that our county jails are not following and you're not enforcing. So please be advised, if you are not making or holding these county jails accountable to the rules and regulations set up by the state of Texas, then you currently are breaking the law as well, because you're allowing it to happen. In these 3 cases, that I've stated to you from happened in Angelina County, all of these individuals have requested medical personnel. All individuals were not. 1 individual was denied, and the other 2 medical personnel never came back to check on him. In 2 days, a man was suffering from methamphetamine overdose, and they weren't received by medical personnel. They had guards that went and checked on 10 minutes. Now, that's questioned because the fact is that, I'll get to that in a minute, that's the same statement that Sheriff Selman uses on all the deaths. Number 2, your practice of allowing investigations to be completed by the Texas Rangers only and not look into the official investigation done by the sheriff is corrupt. In other words, you're honoring the thin blue line by allowing a sheriff just to report to the Texas Texas Rangers, and the Rangers says, you know what, we're not going to cross the thin blue line. You do your investigation. We'll sign off on it, and that'll be the end of it, and keep you out of the hair of their county from asking too many questions, or in this case, asking any questions. Right now, currently, there are 11 jails that are not compliant. 11 jails. Boxer County, where 10 deaths have occurred. 1 in all of these case scenarios and deaths that apply to county jails, all videos will not be shown to the family or the public. The ACLU has even made a statement coming out condoning this practice, because the fact is that it does not create a transparency, and it does not allow the individuals who are paying the taxes on these jails to see what's actually going on in the jail. We are relying on a report from you that doesn't give us any detail of how these deaths happen. We are relying on you to actually inspect and make sure that these guidelines that are set down not only by the state, but in your own damn guidelines are followed. And they're not being done. We have deaths in Harris County. We've had multiple deaths in Harris County. I think it made the top 11 this month because it's going to continue to do so, because the fact is that you can't get the county. You can't keep the county. You can't even regulate your own county. And you can't prepare a proper report to not only to the public, but to also the commissioners who employ these county sheriffs, and these practices that are illegal that are going on inside the jail, and you're allowing it. I formally complain because the fact is that I and many other individuals that have complained, they go unheard. Today, there's going to be a protest of the Boxer County Jail, because the fact is denial of video by the county sheriff says it was actually approved in another investigation, or it was because of another investigation. Bullshit. You stated that it does not matter if a death occurs in the jail. It's treated as a death, and the family and the public have a right to know how it happened. Not because the sheriff said so. Not because the individuals who perpetrated these crimes and participated in this behavior said so. Your system is a joke. You can write as much as you want to about how you're going to protect it, how you're doing this or whatever, and that, changing this, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. It never gets done. There's no enforcement of these rules. You put somebody on a non-compliant list, okay, they still continue to operate. Put somebody on a non-compliant list, you don't even know if they're actually making any changes. You give them a date and time. Well, you know what, we're going to come back in 3 months. Turns into 6 months. And all the counties know it. And if you think for a second that the sheriffs and the county does not realize whenever you're going to go out and do an inspection, you're sadly mistaken and you're touched in the head. We should not even have a Texas Jail Standards Commission because it doesn't enforce what it's intended to do. Deaths in a county jail, no matter what, should be investigated, not by the Texas Rangers who have a skin in the game, because they don't want to piss off the other counties. So they're all working together so they can hide what's actually happening. But what's actually happening under your watch is people are dying in jail, and you're not investigating it, and you're not holding anybody accountable, and there's no transparency. And you're allowing the counties, the commissioners, to get away with this. So really, who are you working for? Do you work for the public? Or did we put you in place to make sure these standards were applied? Or are you, if you're not doing so, why are you here? Deaths in Texas jails have become so common that the public is like, what is going on? And we don't get any answers from the county. We don't get any answers from the Texas Rangers. Basically, in the Stola case, we had to get a coroner's report from the state stating that he died of a methamphetamine overdose, and he was in lockup. He was in detox for 2 days. Do you think a medical personnel who was properly trained will look, you know what, this guy's in distress? No, because the county won't save money to take him to the hospital to ensure that he is okay, so he can be transported back to the jail. No, and you allow this. There has been so many loved ones who you have left hanging because you're not properly monitoring the investigations that are going on after a death in the jail. You wash your hands of it. You do not go back and say which, or you do not report on which items were actually broken. If the individual is dead, he just dead. What does you say? Okay. You're accepting a statement depositions from a sheriff who's actually telling you what happened and what went on, and he wasn't even there. You are accepting that only one report. There's no witnesses on these. There's no witnesses on these investigations. People who know, people who were there, people who were involved, the witnesses that are actually there, the trustees, the individuals who actually saw what's going on, they were never, ever, ever questioned. Not by even you. So that's their job. They're supposed to conduct all this. We just get the paperwork. We just signed off on it. What good are you? The Texas jail system and the complaint department and their lack of urgency or their lack of ability or their just lack of common sense to realize, look at your own reports. How many deaths have been happening in the last 4 years? It's going up. Wonder why? Because the agency, your agency that's supposed to monitor these jails, are not doing their job. People do their job well. Some people don't do their job well or whatever. But when it comes to the quality of life and the actual job that you have and the decisions you make can or cannot, may or may not be utilized or followed that causes a death, you're guilty by association. You're guilty by association. The 3 cases that I'm talking about and that involve me that I've done investigations on is the Hartman case, which just settled out for $476,000 with the report coming out that these issues were a problem. The same issues that you had held them non-compliant on is the reason why Ms. Hartman was dead. But yet you took them out of compliance. Now, soon after you took them out of compliance, they went back their same old way, and now you have a woman dead. A woman who stayed and actually sent 32 requests to see the physician or medical personnel because she was sick. She died of pneumonia. We don't know if she caught it outside or if she caught it inside the jail because of the mold. We don't know that. Maybe that's something you might want to take a look at. Get pissed off. I don't care because somebody's calling you out. Good. Because your organization is contributing to the death of individuals unnecessarily. These people are all pre-trial. They're innocent until proven guilty. Except in the eyes of your organization, the sheriff's organization, and the Texas Rangers. They must have done something to get in there. Yeah, we didn't go and kill them. We don't care. Let them die. That's paperwork for us. But the next case is, which was Glenn Earl Smallwood. Glenn Earl Smallwood, he died because of, they actually said cardiac, they actually said, oh, well, we suspect cardiac arrest. No. He died from complications of an overdose. He was only in jail for a few hours. It was even duly noted on the Lufkin police report and also the Lufkin video that arrested that this man was definitely in need of medical attention, no matter what the cause. And on intake, they did not necessarily ask him. They did not notice. They said he was incoherent and he couldn't say his name. He didn't know who he was. That would be my first clue. But they stuck him in detox to sober up, just to sober up. A method that your own regulations state that if a person is suffering from any kind of incoherence, it doesn't matter what the reason is, you still treat them as a human being. And you failed to do this one in particular investigation. Look at the coroner's report, the whole 9 yards. Nowhere was it mentioned that he went into restraints except the coroner's report. They put him in restraints, didn't report it. He had restraint marks on his body on the coroner's report, and they said that he died at 11:36. Coroner's report stated that. The booking report said that he's only paid until he was booked at 12:28. The sheriff came back and said, oh, well, that's a typo. The son of a bitch was handwritten. We already know they have been in non-compliance on multiple issues of not checking on prisoners, or not properly handing out medications, or medical personnel not responding to needs. We've already established that. And it was established in a lawsuit. Now we've got 2 more lawsuits that are coming up that they're going to have to settle on, because the fact is that you did not do your job, because the fact is there's you cannot claim no responsibility, because you know, well, the people, the families, they'll get money for it. No. When the Department of Jail Standards get to determine who dies, who doesn't die, whatever, what standards will fall, what standards will blink an eye at, what? When do you start holding these county jails accountable? How many deaths? Please tell me, like I'm a 3-year-old. How many deaths is it going to take in the state of Texas for us to, for you to start paying attention? One death to me is just something that should be investigated, and I want to investigate it. I'll make sure everything's not happening, or anything similar happening to other jails. But on your reports that you say with 11 dated as of today or dated yesterday, that there are 11 jails you got non-compliant, all for the same damn thing. Same damn thing that was on the civil suit that you're supposed to monitor. These issues were addressed in a non-compliant 2 years ago. And you took them off the non-compliant list, and guess what? You put them up back in compliance. They went and did the same thing over and over again, because you didn't keep going. You keep, well, you know what? We told them last time they're compliant now, but you know what? We need to keep an eye on them because they got a history. I don't know what mentality or what pill that it takes to become a government, an agency that represents the state of Texas, that allows a commission to get paid and doesn't do what it's set up to be. The Sunshine Act come out. It was a report put up by the commissioners. Your own department. It addressed the issues that transparency needed to be first and foremost of what you're actually doing. So in other words, it happened. Now everybody gets to see. Everybody gets to see how this happened. We pay for the jail, for God's sakes. And we should know fully how it operates. That is in your commission. That is the basically reason why the Standard Act was actually reviewed and passed. But it's not been implicated. It's not been implemented. Same old, people still dying. You got a piece of paper. Well, you know, they're supposed to do this, but you're supposed to check on them, man. So please, I'm still waiting for the number of how many people have to die before you realize that you're useless. And please spare me the thought that you think that, well, it's up to them. We're useless. No. You are useless because the fact is that you're not enforcing the laws that you actually sat down and wrote. I don't know who your investigators are. I don't know who they could, if they know, they get word to know, get back channels, or all that is happening, but it's right underneath your nose. It's been happening for years. But now it's to the point to where people are dying. I will guarantee you right now, if you look into Angelina County Jail, there are requirements that are actually certificates that these individuals are supposed to actually acquire and actually to renew annually. One of those is restraints. Not one person who issued a restraint in Angelina County Jail on Glen Smallwood ever had a complaint or had a certificate. None. No follow-up ever came. None. Item 17 of their standing operating procedure states There's no formal certificates, but it's on-the-job training. I'm not an investigator for the commission. I'm not. But I would, but when I went into a jail and I was going to inspect it, I would do my homework and see what their standard operating procedures are. And before I even went in there, I would already know that's wrong. CPR procedures for your personnel. Angelina County has no certificates. We have nobody who has been certified to administer CPR. They learn it from on-the-job training. All of these certificates and requirements and things they're supposed to update, they never get checked. Because if they did, then your agency would actually find out, holy crap, we got a real problem here. We need to step in. We need to do our job. The state needs to get involved. But the issue of correcting the problem remains with you because you're in the way. You're in the way. Please do not issue any more guidelines. Please do not issue because we know you don't follow them. So they're not even worth the paper that they're printed on. Stolen case. The sheriff determined that he was intoxicated when he was arrested. How did they know that? Is there a video showing that? Is there anything showing where he was arrested? And to back up their report, they said, "Oh, we have found a baggie full of substance." Okay, what was it? What was it? Wouldn't you want to know what it was? And then they conveniently say, well, it's meth abuse, meth overdose. Okay, well, was it in a bag? What? Did he get it in jail? These answers have to be asked by your agency. The public need to be able to have access. You have a complaint department. If the complaint department took these complaints seriously, then how many deaths would it, if it just saved one life or changed one procedure that would save lives throughout the county or out the state? Wouldn't that pretty much your job? But to take a complaint and call a person back and say, well, there's nothing we can do. Then what good are you? Please tell me. What good are you? You have even failed to even stand up to HB 30 that passed in 2023 stating that any death inside of a county jail has to be reported. The videos have to be released. HB 30 took away the dead man's loophole. Are you aware of that? Has any of your personnel seen any videos of a person inside that jail facility die, or the process he went up to and what he went through before his death, his or her deaths? No, you don't. Why? Because the county will not release the video. You're the governing agency. You should be the first person that they see the video or evidence, and also see the report. Up to $100 that there's not one person in the commission that's actually looked at the coroner's report for Mr. Smallwood's death, the coroner's report, the booking report, who was on duty, the time frames of which when did they actually check on him, whatever, who was responsible, and exactly what the medical personnel observed when he was actually taken in. And let me tell you why. There's a little secret here. Because the same verbiage she used in Glen Allen Smallwood, well, his blood pressure was high, but it was in normal range. What's normal range? But then take that, the same statement was used in the Stola case. The same statement was used in the Hartman case. Did that medical personnel even look at him? was a medical personnel or a supervisor, even in the vicinity of when Smallwood was placed in restraints. Because you guys have a rule about that. Actually, you have guidelines. Would you think maybe you might want to check those guidelines on what actually happened in Angelina County Jail? And if a thing happened in Angelina County, y'all ain't doing it nowhere. So my complaint basically is this. I said 3 people. Ms. Hartman died of pneumonia, complications from pneumonia. Turned down 34 times to seek medical help. Why was she turned down? Because the guard said she was faking it. Oh, now we got guards have PhDs and they got doctor's degrees, or they can't even train how to provide CPR. They can't even train how to put a person in restraints. They lack any training or any continued education in what the job is supposed to be. But hey, you know what? Now they're doctors. They can say, well, no, you're faking it. We ain't going to do it. 34 times they threw it away. 34 times. And we have guards making decisions for medical personnel all the time. I'll tell you why that's an issue. It's because you can look at every county who's experiencing deaths in the state of Texas, and they're all contracted out to providers. These providers only have a medical person, a doctor, come in once a week and review the cases. All the way up to the end, any person who's there for medical is a physician's assistant. A physician's assistant who doesn't even have the proper certification, who doesn't even have the certification. They don't review it. When they go to the county jail, it's not required. Hey, I'm hired. Same thing in the Stoller case. If this individual he died of an overdose, please tell me there was somebody, hey, this dude ain't right, man, and would actually investigate it. Or when the medical personnel got to say, you know what, he's got high blood pressure, he's acting this way or whatever, put 2 and 2 together and say, you know what, we need to get him to hospital. I don't know exactly, but we need to get him to hospital so he don't die. So ultimately, your decision and your lack of decisions to take these people on and compliant is costing taxpayers money. Why? Because it's wrong. It's going to civil cases, and civil cases are being issued in the favor of the people that are dying in jail. And the county ends up having to pay for it anyway. Taxpayers. So the amount of money you saved on just putting medical personnel or save medical personnel there, you just putting a medical physician's assistant there, you save money over buck. Okay, great for your budget or whatever. But guess what? We ended up paying for it anyway. And it's due to the fact that you're not doing your job to regulate these institutes to where they actually don't cost us money and their loved ones. My complaint is simple, is that you guys are not doing your job, and you're allowing this system that has been in place for years to continue forward to where no one knows what goes on inside the jail. You've taken the side of a person is in jail, their life is not worth anything. Somebody who hasn't even been to trial yet. Your issues that you fail to incorporate into each of these jails and to hold them responsible, you might as well just go ahead and sign a death warrant. While you're sitting right there, go ahead and have death certificates out, because every time that there's a death in a jail, you should go ahead and say, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Check your records on the last time. Check your records on the last time it was investigated, who investigated, and is there previous behavior? Is this person walking around all these, is he just inspecting all these jails and all these deaths are following him around? Or is it a certain group of people? What is it? This will go out on social media, and I hope to God people will share it and like it and share it or whatever. But it doesn't matter, because now you know that we know. Now you know today from a protest in Boxer County Jail that these lives do matter. And every life that you could have saved, that's on your conscience because you failed to do your job. Someone in your agency is failing to understand the sense of importance that their job is and just getting paid and not doing it. Keyboard warriors. I'm just a citizen. I'm a combat veteran, and I've seen this. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The jail standards that we have witnessed, that we have actually had access to or whatever, that you say are compliant, they don't even have in Pakistan. They don't even have in Afghanistan. It's bad. When it comes to death, they don't have it. Because they're monitored by the Taliban. They're monitored by these issues. And your agency is worse. You are worse because there's more deaths per capita in the state of Texas in jails than there is across the country. I'm looking at my research. I looked at nationwide, but now I am looking at it globally. And your responsibility is definitely on you. If you have a problem, talk it up with the governor, because your governor is the one who's supposed to issue that information to you. He is supposed to authorize the video to you. But you didn't even ask, did you? Nope, not there. Okay, let's go to lunch. So if you like this video, that's great. Share this, and I hope to. And on my webpage, I'm going to post out the complaint department. I'm going to post out their email. I'm going to post out everything. Because you know what? All I want people to do is what's going on? Why are there so many deaths this year and last year and the year before that? Why are they going up? Why aren't you doing your job? Thank you. My name is Steve Dubose. I can be reached at stevedubose@gmx.com. I'm sure I won't hear from you. I'm sure you won't hear from me. Because, state jail standards, they got more important people to talk to. They got more people think, save their lives and talking to the people, actually learning from people, put them in office. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.